Well, that Kia ora, it's Bix Bested, and you are back with Don't Call Me Diva, where we talk AEW women's wrestling and affiliated wrestlers. We keep this show in the realm of kayfabe and wonder, and in doing so, have created quite a bit of lore here in Divaville. This is episode 38. So if you want, if you're new and you want to know any more about me and why we're here, go check out episode one. Okay. Where did that come from? Whew! Oh my goodness. It goes, we got the scoops for you. Huh, it's tingling. All of the thing is tingling. From the words of the patron saint of DCMD herself, Layla Gray. She told me, yes, me personally, that her movement has improved a lot and she should hopefully be able to have surgery in a couple of weeks. I had to say this is my finest moment here in DCMD law. And we are all rooting for Miss Gray here for her to have the most successful surgery and healing vibes. My excellent producer Shane also got some love from Miss Gray. So we are double in the love vibes, and it took us a little while to get over it. I don't know if we already are. We're excitement. All of the good vibes are in the studio today. Gonna be unbearably happy. Are you ready? Thank you to our wonderful Layla Gray. Heal well, Queen. We hope to see you soon. And spoiler alert, we do. Ooh, we're shimmying things around. We're moving things around on the screen. We're commentating what we're doing. And we're back. So, as we know, the Sisters of Sin did not defeat the Babes of Wrath for the titles, but this has not put a full stop in their story. There is a lot of black in the ring this evening, and this makes me very happy. Keep your head out of the gutter. Julia was in her black and red battle gear for that match, and Sky Blue was in which is like more of a blue battle outfit, but equally as gorgeous. The hero of the locker room came out for that match in her black and white battle gear, which she wears again. And Harley is in her all black outfit with like the delicate sparkles and and all the straps up the wazoo, which she also wears again later on in the show. Foreshadowing, may I say. It's going to be one of those episodes. Ooh, hell. And she being Harley, is the first one to face off against the Whisperer of Spells herself, the amazing Julia. They don't take long to lock up, but they burst apart like exploding magnets just as quickly. Julia Hart has a sinister smile on her face and she ramps up the speed instantly. Julia takes down Harley, then runs full speed at Willow, knocking her off that apron with a forearm. Hart looks behind her, and when she sees that Blue has gotten into the ring to take care of Harley, Hart goes through the ropes and follows dear Willow. On her side of the ring, Blue has booted Harley onto the floor. Julia gets her whip into the ring, countered by the much stronger Willow, but Hart combats it with quickness and it allows her to get the upper hand, and she clubbers down on Willow's back. Ooh. Across the ring, you can see that Blue is sending Harley face first into the ring and then slams her head repeatedly on top of the apron. Well, Julia then throws Willow into the steel stairs and she hits them hard with her hip. Ugh. The bell's only just gone, and the Sisters of Sin are having a fabulous time. I don't think the babes ref are, but I don't think that's much of their concern right now. Now, the ref, on the other hand, you may be asking yourself, where are they? Well, He has been attempting to count them out. Blue sends Harley back into the ring, and with the final forearm to the jaw, Julia rolls herself back into the ring just to stop that count from going, because then that would just fuck up this entire situation. She tags in Blue and they double team on Harley. After Blue takes a moment to taunt the crowd, they hiff Harley up in a double vertical suplex. But Willow has gotten up to her feet and she gets into the ring just in time to grab Harley before she is slammed into the mat. Still in Willow's arms, Harley boots the Sisters of Sin both in the face. Harley runs between the ropes, confusing the dazed Blue, and she gets taken out with a spicy sling blade. Harley's got that sling blade down, I have to say. Whew, we've got a very floofy fringe going on this evening. If you don't, you may notice that it'll be floofing a lot. Anyway, moving along. Harley tags in Willow and she clumps onto Willow's back for the running double senton of doom, which I love. Willow goes for the pin, but tough as shit, Blue taps out. Taps out? No, she doesn't do either of things. It is neither a tag nor a tap. It is a kick out, dear viewers, that Blue does. Julia was ready to break it up though, just in case. Willow sends Blue into the corner and does her best to make them one entity with a multitude of stiff lariats. Julia has having none of this, but gets a back elbow instead, followed by a very sharp chop to her chest when she tries to intervene from Willow. Oof. This has still worked though to the Sisters of Sin's advantage, because as when Willow goes back to Blue, Blue boots her in the face. Willow stumbles back and ends up in the clutches of Julia, who then pulls her neck down on the top rope with a nasty guillotine. Guillotine? A guillotine. It's like a glittery guillotine. Billy is not here. Blue continues the damage going by cracking Willow in the face with a rising knee strike and then driving her head into the mat with a lovely tornado DDT. Sky Blue takes a moment and then goes for the pin. That Willow still easily kicks out of, but it was worth a try. Sky tags in Julia, and it's time for more double team action. Sisters of Sin whip Willow into the corner and then lay in triple damage with a running lariat from Heart, a cartwheel uppercut from Blue, followed quickly by the running back elbow by Julia. They finish it off with a couple of kicks to the back, and Julia goes for the pin. Willow nopes out of it at just one. Thank you very much. And quickly scoops Julia up off her feet and into a squishy cheeky roll up of her arm. Julia kicks out and Willow instantly tags in Harley. Sisters of Sin try to take Cameron out of it before she can get into the ring, but they both get stiff kicks to the side of their heads. That kick rocks the Sisters of Sin so much that they stumble all around the ring. They find each other and combine, but they stumbled right into the path of Harley's diving crossbody, and both sisters go down. Harley gets to her feet with a battle cry from thy depths. Willow has nothing. Harley is activated. She ducks the lariat from Blue and kicks them both in the head, bringing Sky to her knees. Julia and Cameron continue to battle it out. Blue finally gets up just in time to join Julia, and they both get hammered by Harley, their heads colliding with one another in a sickening thud. Harley explodes with another battle cry from her depths, and the crowd are just going absolutely wild. Harley is taking on both Sisters of Sin, and she's winning. The Sisters of Sin roll out of the ring, and Cameron makes a decision to follow, which does not go well. She grabs Julia, who counters it, and then she sends Harley face first into the ring apron. Harley's got to be careful about this. Who knows? Who knows? Julia's mad and frustrated. She slams Harley into the steel barricade. She turns Harley to face her and then she chops her in the chest. Julia sends Harley into the ring and then she follows her back in. Julia mounts Harley and then just rains down forearms. She pins her shoulders to the mat, goes for the pin, but Cameron is still determined and she kicks out. Julia Hart tags in Sky Blue and they double team up on Harley Cameron again. They connect with a double flapjack that slams Harley's face into the mat. Poor face. Right on her, like I said previously, broken nose. Sky Blue goes for the pin, but Harley Cameron still survives. To reward her for this, Blue pushes her back into their corner and then plants her there with a split choke. The ref is like, get off her, Blue. And when she complies, and she brings with her the attention of the ref, and behind their back, Julia Hart pulls violently on Harley's hair. We got there in the end, people. Willow falls to the oldest trick in the book and gets into the ring to stop this illegal behavior going on. But the ref turns all his attention then on Willow, and the Sisters of Sin get in some more licks on Harley Cameron. Blue tags in Julius, and now we're all legal. We get a double team suplex, and then Hart pins down Harley again. Not for reals, but more to make her use more energy to kick out. Before Harley can take a breath, she is then caught in a tight joke from Julia. This is their plan. They want to wear down on Harley Cameron so she has absolutely no more energy to kick out, while still just trying to keep Willow out of the match. Willow is yelling encouragement to Harley. The crowd is also trying to boost her up, but Julia has her choke locked in, and Harley is finding it very difficult to breathe. Harley finally gets her legs up underneath her, and this gives her the room she needs to elbow Julia in the midsection until Hart has to let go. A jawbreaker from Harley, though, works perfectly, but Julia's momentum sends her into her own corner, and Blue tags in before Cameron can get to her own corner to tag in Willow. Sky Blue sends Harley back into the corner that she just came from. Julia captures her in the tarantula, and as Harley is being stretched and choked on the rope by Hart, Blue has sprinted over to Willow to knock her off of the apron. Like I said, doing everything they can to smush Harley and keep Willow out of it. Smart. Sky continues her run around the ring and then lands a drop kick into Harley's chest, which is a beautiful level up to this tarantula. And so long as she gets there before 5 seconds is done, everything is legal. As Hart releases Cameron, she drops to the ground. Harley survives another pin, but Sky Blue holds her back by the hair and gives her a good mocking, and then lifts Cameron up for Skyfall. But Harley utilizes quick thinking and counters the move with a roll up into a pin. Sky kicks out and again scoops Harley. No, she again stops Harley from tagging in Willow. Harley engages fuck that mode and grapples around with Blue until she positions her perfectly for the pump handle suplex. As Blue lands heavily on the mat, she instantly clutches at her lower back. Finally, Harley manages to get to Willow and tags her in. The crowd erupts into cheers. Sky Blue then gets to Julia and tags her in. And as soon as Blue gets settled on the ring apron, Willow plows through her with a wound up forearm. Sky Blue splats down onto the ground. She kind of had that coming. I love you, Bloopy. Kind of had that coming. In the ring, Willow is taking Julia out with stiff lariats. The hero of the locker room deals with the incoming Blue via cartwheel into the enziguri, which was very impressive. I don't remember seeing her do that move before, have you? But it's the perfect setup for the pounce. And Sky Blue gets slammed into the canvas. She is out of that ring in an instant. Don't blame her. Julia explodes out of the corner finally, and the crowd is going bananas. Willow yoinks Julia and slams her into the mat via a sit-down powerbomb, pins the darkness, but the past year of taking all of that abuse for her team has leveled up Julia's toughness to the maximum, and she strongly kicks out at 2. Willow picks up Hart and puts her onto her shoulders, as if to lawn dart Julia into the top turnbuckle. But Julia successfully wriggles out of her grip and nails Willow in the jaw with what looked like a double soul food. The incredible Julia Hart takes control of Willow's hand and walks her over to the ropes. Willow has no choice but to follow. Julia climbs to the top rope, walks along, and then flies at Willow for a hurricane runner. Instead of taking her down, though, Willow counters her rotation, and they end up collapsing to the mat sideways with a thud. Willow still has control of Julia's legs, though, which is very impressive, and she gets back to her feet quickly. Utilizing the failed hurricane runner from Julia, Willow twists her over while still having control and sits down deep into the half crab submission. Tremendous pressure is being put onto Julia's knee, but she doth not tap, and she won't have to because Sky Blue comes out of nowhere with a super kick to the side of Willow's face. Willow has no time to react and takes it flush, sending her rolling out of the ring. Hallie Cameron is back, and she has targeted in on Sky Blue. Sky tries to take her out first, but Cameron sidesteps. Hallie initially glomps onto the back of Blue, and then, oh, sorry, not initially. Hallie instantly glomps onto the back of Blue and then cracks his spine with a lovely backstabber. Some stubber. Lovely backstabber. Somewhere there is a Mercedes Monet on her last remaining boats, and she hears a backstabber in the distance. She's like, Harley. Anyway, Harley celebrates with the crowd and then turns to face Julia Hart, who has recovered and gotten back to her feet rather quickly. Julia twists Cameron around and slams her back into the mat with fury. Hart is sick of all this shit, but unfortunately for her, Willow has recovered quickly from Sky Blue super kick out of the blue, and she hoists up Julia for the babe with the powerbomb. But right at that powerbomb part, Julia tightens her legs around Willow's shoulders, halts that finisher, and rains down forearm shots and maybe like just a few closed fists down on Willow's skull. The hero of the locker room tries to finish the move, but Julia Hart grabs her by the hair and turns her momentum on herself. Willow's face gets power slammed into the mat. Willow and Harley are the legal. They're not the legal ones in the match. Willow and Julia are the legal ones in this match, and they are both down on the canvas. Carly still hasn't moved from where she is. Sky Blue has just risen and is climbing back onto the apron. Did I say Willow and Julia? I hope so. Both Sisters of Sin are hurting, but they are the ones to get the tag first. It's time for double team fun times once again, and Sisters of Sin lift Willow up and slam her face down into the mat with the double gourd buster. As the momentum brings Willow back up to her knees, she gets taken out with dual thrust kicks. Oh, a dual thrust kiss to the face, and Sky goes for the cover, but Harley is getting onto the ring to break it up. Unfortunately, the spirits took the moment to talk to Julia, and she couldn't see Harley coming. And Harley was very successful in breaking up this pin, even though it was like right in front of her. Hart quickly tells those voices to F off and regains her sight. She throws Harley out of the ring a little late, and the Sisters of Sin set up to double team on Willow again with the swinging Uranage. But Willow knows this move very well, and her instincts quickly kick in. She kicks backwards and takes out Julia. Sky Blue gets an elbow to the side of the face, followed by a clobbering forearm to the chest. It's a very smart move and smart way to get out of this move. Willow sees Harley is back on the apron and calls her out for the tag. Within a split second of Harley getting into that ring and turning just to quickly check on Willow, the Sisters of Sin, the Sisters of Sin were back on their feet, and Harley turns into a double super kick that takes her out. Juliet clutches at her knee, still feeling the pangs of pain from that failed Hurricane Rana and half crab Willow put on her afterwards. Sky Blue notices this and thrust kicks Willow in the face, sending her flying backwards off the apron to give her a bit of space. Sky Blue releases a battle cry from the fucking dips. This time, the Sisters of Sin put the swinging Uranage on Cameron, but it gets countered again, and Harley pushes Blue into Hart, colliding their heads together, making them both stumble back into the ring once again. Harley spins Blue to face her, and the expression on Blue's face scares the shit out of Harley, and it stuns her for just a moment. But as she shakes it off, Blue is still a human after all, mostly, and goes to her in the midsection, but Sky counters this and nails Harley in the face with a brutal knee strike. Cameron's head is tough, and she eats that knee and replies with a high kick to Blue's own head. Harley quickly follows this with a DDT and then goes for the pin. On the outside, Willow and Julia are having their own battle. Blue kicks out of the pin, and Willow throws Julia into the steel stairs, and then you can just see her stomping on Julia's face. In the ring, Harley hoists Blue up onto her shoulders, but she is unable to do anything due to Sky shifting her weight around, and she brings Harley down for a very lovely, very cheeky roll up. Blue smushes up Harley real good for this pin, but Cameron's strong leg springs out of it before we can get to three. Blue doesn't stop and runs off the ropes to take Cameron out with a running lariat. Harley ducks this and she bounces off the ropes herself. Willow makes the tag. Harley continues her momentum and glomps on the gorgeous crucifix bomb that takes Sky out, and it was glorious. Willow quickly gets into the ring and grabs Sky. Babes of Wrath double team on Blue with soul food from Harley Cameron into the lightning spiral from Willow. It's a thing of beauty. Willow smushes up Sky Blue real good for the pin, and we get the one and the two, and what's this? It's the three. The crowd erupts into cheers as Willow pushes Sky's limp body aside. The Babes of Wrath celebrate in the ring, and then Sky Blue grabs at Willow's ankle like a zombie with no legs, and we all know what happened after that. Nothing like a beautiful brawl to end a show. So yes, not a winning match, but a good showing, and I can see them battling again, depending on what happens at Grand Slam. Speaking of Grand Slam, our goddess of violence, Megan Bain, teamed up with a certain bad boy of wrestling, just slightly, to once again form Genesis, which I didn't even know was a thing. Absolutely adorable. And they battled AEW's own Jet Speed in the main event of a wonderful event that was Orange Crush Presents Superpower Slams Wrestling, which was a benefit for the neurodivergent community, which was put on by GCW and Wrestling in USA. There was a full women's four-way match on the pre-show featuring Janai Kai, who we have spoken about before, with three others that we have yet to learn about. Their names are Jordan Blade, Nikki XS, and the Victor, who was Gabby Forza. Hero of the locker room, Willow Nightingale faced and defeated Amara Shade, who is formerly Jakarta Jackson. Some of you may know if you followed the NXT thingy. Billy Starks defended her her JCW title against Effie, though she has actually recently lost that belt to a Charles Mason. We were also blessed by the amazing Global Wars that was put together by ROH and MPX Wrestling that was, what's that word? Postponed, that we talked about in the other episode. One of my favorite factions, STP, were there, featuring the Afro-Punk Trish Adora. She battled against Demo Diamond, Carl Jai Wright, LVJ, and Reza Clark. And they Charlie Bravo's Tall Drink of Water, Christian EXO, and an Anthony Agogo were ringside. Now, I was unaware or I have forgotten that Agogo was STP, but I am down. The amazingly tough and very strong Vert Vixen had a proving ground match against the next level ROH Women's Tally Champion, Red Velvet. Now, if she lasted 10 minutes in this match, or she bet the champion, Vert Vixen would get a chance at the title. But she was defeated by Velvet 3 minutes under the time limit. So, we may get a rematch of that again. Be interesting to see. Vert Vixen is awesome. She's so cool. She's so strong. The Demonic Wonder, Abaddon, defended their MPX Women's title against Ray Lynn. And there was a delightfully violent and highly entertaining six Man, tag team match between the ROH Pure Women's Champion Deonna Purrazzo, High-End Maya World, and what's our team name suggestions for this match? Oh, no, not for this match. What am I talking about? What's our team name suggestions for High-End and Maya World? I had like a mini ponder of this when I was writing, but nothing has come to me, and nothing still has come to me. So if you think of something, write it down. They faced the forever champ, the Fallen Goddess, the Dominion Overlord, the American Joshi, the ROH World Champion for 1,157 days, Athena, and the MIT in training, Diamante and Billy Starks. No relation. Shenanigans ensued, as is MIT tradition, and it was a bloody good match. Go watch it. Holy flying fraggles, sickos! Did we have a massive dynamite or what? The episode literally was heard and seen around the world. Who would have thunk? And I could not be happier to see it. Watching people outside of the wrestling bubble learn that the bulk of wrestling fandom is like progressive as fuck and we're actually a little crazy was quite amusing. But hey, at least we now all know. We are in we're in the Lost Vegas. Vegas is lost. We don't know where they've gone. There was a windstorm and it's just disappeared. Maybe it will come back with another one. We'll have to see. But until then, we are in Las Vegas. And actually, AEW and Las Vegas have a little bit of a rocky relationship, but Las Vegas really showed up to have some fun and definitely were heard this evening. Dynamite starts with a string of promos. We have one from two wrestlers who know all about bringing thy boom, shaking thy tits, the Babes of Wrath. They have their gorgeous titles over their shoulders and some fighting words to their opponents tonight. Megabad! Megabad have some fighting words of their own, and they hype one another up, looking ravishing in red, sparkled up the wazoo. Penelope warns the babes that they are looking at the end. I like that one. She's good, isn't she? These two teams have an eliminator match for a chance to fight for the tag titles at Grand Slam Oz in Sydney, mate. And as much as I love the Babes of Wrath, I gotta go with my part-time co-host Penelope Ford and the most devastating woman in wrestling, the Megasis. Those titles are made for Megabad, and I am so happy that they are now also using Megabad on the Daily Beat. Rather excited. I am stoked as fuck. I am stoked as fuck for Harley Cameron, though. Getting two shows in her home country when both of them are extremely important matches, and now she's going back as a champion. What more could she want for in a homecoming? I'm real stoked. The first battle involves the Moxley of Moxingham himself, the Bastard Pack, and the Daniel of the family Garcia. They come to the ring from the back area, as is tradition. Marina and Claudio play hot potato with the International Championship belt for some reason, before Marina decides that she wants to carry it, and they all follow Mox to the ring. And they shall be battling the Dong Fellas family, who shall be named as such until they get a badass woman or non-binary meet in their faction. Thank you very much. Both for meat, not just the non-binary. Equal meat. I personally think Nyla Rose, hello, would be fabulous. Could you imagine the pop that woman is going to get when she finally enters the ring again? It has been so long. Marina stays out of this match. Keeping the gold safe. That's what she does. So we're just going to leave it to it. We're just going to move on. The remarkable, knew it all along, Renee Paquette has a backstage interview with the former world champions, Webb Strickland and Prince Nana. Don't know why I had to say them like that. Renee is looking stunning in a dark plaid kind of like corset suit. You can just see it right here. It suits her immensely. Her corset top and matching, I think they're pants, question mark, is accessorized with a delicate necklace of pearls. And you can spy it. My dear friend, the sparkly belt is back to finish off the look. Prince Nana takes over the interview at Swerve's direction and he's holding up a towel, a white towel, over his arm with the embassy emblazoned on it, well, stitched into it, which starts all sorts of clogs pondering in motion. But before we get lost in, all the sauce in that one, because we have no business being here. It's agenda match time. Freshly squeezed, timeless crush come out to the entrance in matching denim attire. Tony Storm is in like a jean play suit, applique master class of gaunch, and Cassidy strips down to his jeans, as is tradition. They, meaning Timeless Crush, are facing a hype as fuck. Brittany Brooks, we love to see it. Instant fan of Brittany Brooks when we first saw them. She is living the dream. I freaking love her. Her partner is Jordan Oasis, and they are the perfect opponents for Storm and Cassidy. We talked about Brittany all the way back in episode 3 when she had a match against Thunder Rosa. And I've loved her ever since. Brooks is dressed in battle pink and steps through the ropes to allow her partner to start the match. Orange gets himself prepared whilst Tony walks the apron, hyping up the fans and herself as they chant her name. Everyone in the arena is all in for this match. The men folks start it and camp about the ring in magnificent fashion until Orange Cassidy comes face to scalp with Jordan's bald head, and the fear of what may befall himself fills Orange with dread, and he quickly scampers over to Tony Storm and takes her in. He doesn't want to even think about that. Tony goes forth to engage in battle with Brittany. Pip Brooks has a need, and it's bigger than locking up with the two-time former world champion. She pushes Storm aside and announces to the world that she is indeed Brittany. Gives us a few hair flips to accentuate the vibe. And whilst Brittany is hyping herself up, looking dead straight into the hard cam, she has gotten so lost into her own ego that she does not even notice that Tony Storm has gotten well over this, and Bruce gets clobbered with Mongolian chops. Oh, love it. An extended battle cry, Tony Storm ragdolls Brittany around by her hair. Timeless flings her over from one corner to another with hair mirrors. Brittany is regretting maybe previous showboating, but she will not run away. She calls out to Tony and tries to knock her down with a lariat. But instead, she gets yoinked by Tony Storm, flung over her head, and is slammed down into the mat with brutal force. Brittany stumbles backwards, and her tag partner Jordan gives her some relief and tags in because she wasn't gonna get out of the ring. Tony Storm stands up to Oasis, but Orange also has her back and has gotten into the ring behind her. He helps her evade the incoming lariat from Jordan, and Storm runs right through Brooks, who thought she could take a moment to recover in the corner. Timeless Crush burst into a dance of violence that is not only graceful but very effective in battle, and they take out both Oasis and Brooks. It is not over for Brooks as she gets her head driven into the mat once again via a lovely tornado DDT from Storm. Orange takes out Jordan with his own DDT, and the dazed Oasis crawls to the absolutely not safe in the entire world corner of the ring. Tony Storm signals for the hip attack and ramps up the crowd who go wild in response. Oasis gets knocked loopy by the hip attack, and after Tony sends him into Orange Cassidy's Orange Punch, he is knocked out for real. Timeless Crush Sexy Pin for the win, and we get the one and the two and the three. A ring a ding ding, they are your champions. Luther scampers down to the ring and gathers up Storm's silk robe. Orange cannot shake the uneasy feeling regarding their up and coming hair versus hair match against fucking Yuta and Marina Shafir. Orange really doesn't want his head shaved, and even Tony has a slight moment of crisis before shaking it all off with the fact that she is indeed a baddie and will rock it no matter what happens, for she is a timeless motherfucking Tony Storm. Her impassioned speech and her confidence of their success in battle seems to ease Cassidy's mind too. And we end in perfect Tony Storm fashion. And with that, we take a moment to sip because we must stay hydrated in these very warm times. Further along into the evening, the remarkably tanned Renee Paquette and our dear friend, the sparkly silver belt, getting the scoops from our world champion, the Cosmic Killer, Chris Statlander. Now, let's take a moment, shall we? Let's take a moment. The world champion is wearing a silver pauldron, and it's in an intricate pattern that has been carved into the metal all over the armor. It's clasping together at the neck. Looks stunning. A little black top, mesh gloves, a circlet around her brow, and the world championship around her waist complete the fit. And it's safe to say that our world champion's fucking fire this evening. Renee wants to know what the stipulation is for the upcoming world title match against Tekla at Grand Slam. As do we, I have to say. With passion coursing through her veins, she addresses the sickos and promises us a match right up our collective sicko alley. Ooh, but we should have to wait until Collision, which is only a few pages away, so lucky us. After this announcement of an announcement, the music that always puts a smile on my face hits the arena, and it's not the hero of the locker room. It's Megabad. Woo! I'm not quite too sure what my dance move are for Megabad. It just kind of comes out, and however it does, it's usually a lot shaking. They come out to their cool as folk music in their white, gold, and blue expensive looking battle gear. Penelope Ford has her crown of horns and spikes, and the Megasis is cloaked and headdressed, as is tradition. They complete phase one of World's Best Interest as fire erupts on either side, making them even more intimidating. Penelope gets to her feet and instantly reprimands the fools for not bowing down. Megabad continues on into the ring to finish phase two, and the battle entrance is complete. As Penelope Ford goes back to telling everyone to bow down, Megan Bain surveys her surroundings, and we get a little recap of shenanigans that we talked about last week. The Babes of Wrath music hits, and we're snapped back to the entrance as Willow and Harley burst onto the stage. It's claps all round, and with a da 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 bow, we are off to the ring. Willow's in her white and black sparkly battle gear again, and Harley's in her all black battle gear. Tip my imaginary hat to you both for doing me the personal favor. Megabad do them the courtesy of getting out of the ring and giving them the space to complete their own battle entrance. We get the gun pump from Willow and a titty shimmy from Harley, and we are ready to battle. Babes of Wrath hand the titles over to the ref as Megabad get up onto the apron. Megan Bain gets into the ring as she is usually the first to battle, but Penelope Ford is itching to get into this battle and tells Megan that she wants to start this off. Bane double checks, but then doesn't hesitate to swap places with Ford. Megan Bane may fling you, but she is still a very respectful friend. Harley Cameron is starting off the battle for her side. The two wrestlers approach each other, but just as they were about to lock up, Penelope's cheeky side comes out and she naps Harley Cameron. She smiles a smile of mischief satisfaction. She walks backwards and tags in Megan Bane. Aye. I feel like Harley Cameron has unfinished business with Bane, but Willow calls out for the tag. And it shall actually be the hero of the locker room who will be fighting the Megasis first. Hero of the locker room, Willow Nightingale versus Megasis, the bringer of destruction. Who will collide first? The crowd are very excited. They want to see these two powerful wahine battle it out. But nah, Penelope once again swerves the babes and takes out Willow from behind. Megan knocks Harley off the apron, and the entire arena boo Megabad for their very dastardly behavior. Which I get, that's valid, but it's also hilariously snaky. Penelope kicks Willow while she's down, which just makes the crowd boo louder, and Megan Bane basks in her glory while Penelope humiliates Willow some more. The ref kicks forward out of the ring, but she stays there for about 2 seconds until Bane tags her. Oh, and she stays out of the ring for about 2 seconds until Megan Bane tags her in for some legal double team beatdown fun times on Willow. Mega Bad try to whip Willow into the ropes, but she puts a stop to all of that nonsense and bashes them together into each other, like a percussionist clanging their cymbals, and Penelope falls down. Megan tries to brace herself against the ropes, but Willow comes at her full force and lariats the Megasis so hard that she topples backwards over the ropes and crashes down to the floor. A very mad Willow Nightingale then goes to retrieve Penelope Ford. Willow helps Ford get to her feet and then continues on to heft Ford onto her shoulders. As Willow walks over to Harley for the tag, Penelope tries to engage Kicky Feet, but she is unsuccessful and gets body slammed onto that mat. Willow yells the battle plan to Harley, who instantly knows to run off the ropes and fling herself at Willow for the Cazadora splash. Harley goes for the pin with the whole crowd behind her, which is very rude, but Penelope defies them all and kicks out at two. Ford gets out the pin, but she is in a world of pain. Harley grabs at her arm, oh no, grabs her by the arm and whips her hard into the corner of the ring. Cameron runs in with a back elbow and tags in Willow. They each give Penelope a decent whack. Then Willow slams her into the mat via a suplex. The pin is still unsuccessful though, as Penelope Ford kicks out at two. Will is not phased though and pulls Penelope up to her feet. Penelope Ford knows just what to do because she's smart and acts quickly. It will, oh, knows that. And if she acts quickly, it will work. Ford grabs Willow by the head and quickly drops down to her knees, bringing Willow's draw smashing into the top of her head. Penelope doesn't escape from damage either, but it is a success, and she stumbles backwards into her own corner, and the Megasis of Torment tags in. Ford slowly gets out of the ring as Bane quickly runs through Willow and then rams her face into the top turnbuckle. Not quite done. Megan then chops the percentages out of the hero of the locker room, who is instantly grabs at her chest. Megan surveys the very unhappy crowd, and since this makes her happier, she delights in giving Willow 3 deep knees to the midsection, doubling Willow over, hanging on to the top rope for stability. Megan circles again and then grabs Willow's arm for an Irish whip, but the double champion has been activated and she cartwheels out of danger. into an insecurity that takes Bane by surprise, and she's now the one that's stumbling backwards into that same corner she was just damaging Nightingale in by the might of Nightingale. This corner of the ring likes violence as it holds Megan in place while Willow slams her in deeper with a running body slam, combined very quickly with a short lariat. And with that, Willow throws Megan out of that corner. Willow climbs to the middle rope. Penelope has the perfect opportunity to interfere here, and she sprints along the apron, grabs Willow by the leg, and holds her there. Harley does wrestler mistake number one and rightfully, complains to the ref, but this always backfires as we keep talking about, and it's then and it is then now the distraction for the ref that she didn't want to have in the first place. And more shenanigans continue. Megan regains her senses and takes Willow out with a running mega lariat. I feel like lariats by Mega Bane are just like more devastating in general. So from now on, they shall be named as such. Mega lariats. Megan leaves Willow sitting on the top ropes and climbs up to the top rope. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that fucking Megan Bane is not only like devastating, but she high flies as well. Demolishing wrestlers with like what? Oh, it's insane. Megan leaves Willow sitting on the top rope and climbs up there herself. Bane leaps into a hurricane runner and flips Willow completely out of the ring. And I keep forgetting that Megan Bane is also a devastating high flyer. It's insane. And then holy flying fraggles, people. Megan Bane takes off at jet speed and topes straight through the ropes and takes out Willow Nightingale in stupendous fashion. Just to rub it in about how fabulous she is, Megan Bane gets straight back up to her feet and stares down the lens of the camera. Penelope Ford joins her. Penelope Ford joins her and reminds us all this is why we should all be bowing down. And there are no complaints from you. I'm on your side. Little sidebar, just in case you're new here or like whatever. May the record show that even though I do love to have some fun with some cheeky bias here and there, but I also love basically everyone who like isn't fucking Yuta, and that hates like 100% for like the pure joy of it anyway. Oh, and I'm also not delusional enough to think that everyone is dressing in black to do me the personal favor. It's just an I love to dress in black, and saying these things amuse me greatly. Didn't know. You're caught back up. Now back into the land of fucking madness. Megan Bane kindly helps Willow back up into the ring, but doesn't allow her to tag in Harley Cameron. Nope, nope, nope. She gets Harley out of the way by brute force and shoves her off the apron. It's double team fun time again when Megan whips Willow into their corner. She tags in Penelope, who sprints into action and takes Willow out with her springboard a backflip into the back elbow, which is new and cool as spook. Ford goes to the opposite corner to get a run in for the next move, and it's Bane's turn. She runs full force straight at Willow with the Stinger Splash, and quickly followed by that running boot from Penelope Ford. They are not done though. Penelope pushes Willow at Megan Bane, who lifts her up in a scoop slam with added battle cry, and Bane hits the deck to become Ford's launching pad. Ford steps up onto the strong back of the Megasis and then lands the perfect moonsault press onto the double champion. Ford goes for the pin, but Willow is still strong enough to kick out and she breaks it at 2. The double champion bonus is doing a lot for Willow right now, but she is still in a lot of pain. Penelope decides to switch things up and goes for some joint manipulation. Ford Willow's arm behind her at a gross angle, steps over and bends it back even further, but Willow does not tap. In fact, it is Penelope that removes the hold, and this almost backfires completely as she is quickly hoisted up onto Willow's shoulders. Ford uses the power of kicky feet and she wriggles out of Willow's grasp successfully, pulling her backwards by the hair as she falls. And Penelope slams the back of Willow's head into the mat. Bane basks in her tag partner's glory as the crowd rain down the boos upon her. Penelope mounts Willow and gives her some stiff forearms with a few naughty clothes fists sprinkled in. And Harley is ramping up the crowd from her corner, but that is all she can do. Over on the Mega Bad side of the ring, Penelope Ford has tagged in the Bane. Megan clubbers down on Willow's back and then decides she wants to do some more double team damage and tags in Penelope, who was at the time adjusting the battle gear, but Bane waits for no one. Willow almost stops their plans, but a boot to the side of the head from Penelope stops all of that, and Ford drops down behind Willow, ready for when the Mega Sisters' boot strikes. Ford uses the momentum from Bane's kick to roll Willow over onto her shoulders, and she smushes Willow up real good, but Willow still has the stamina to kick out. Penelope takes Willow over to her corner and tags in Bane again. Megan doesn't go lightly on Willow and plows a few short arm lariats through the double champion, each one slamming Willow down into the mat. Bane goes for the cover, but this time Willow kicks out with a battle cry. Mega Bad are doing so good at these quick tags, keeping their opposition in their area of the ring, she says articulately. Bane is not impressed by all of this. She slaps the hero of the locker room around very disrespectfully until Willow's had enough, gets to her feet, and then runs off the ropes and through Megan Bane for the pounce. Bane goes flying. Willow crawls and stretches out to Harley for the tag, and with the crowd behind her, she makes it. At the same time, Megan tags in Penelope, and those two collide in the ring. Not in a way Penelope would have liked. Harley explodes with energy, takes out Ford with a sling blade. Cameron mounts Penelope and beats down on her just like she did to Willow, and Ford can do nothing but cover up. Cameron stops herself before it goes too far and unleashes her own battle cry from the deepest, darkest depths. Harley screams, "Feel the wrath!" But she's stalling. Oh, but this stalling gives Penelope time to think, and they play a little game of switcheroo. Unfortunately for Ford, she gets twisted up, and when her kick misses, it gets her into more trouble, and Harley slams her down onto the mat with a pump handle suplex into a pin. But Ford nopes the frick out of that before too. Both wrestlers get back onto their feet, and Ford gets rocked by another kick to the face. It doesn't seem to phase her in the slightest, though, this time, because she still manages to counter Harley Cameron and takes her out with the lariat. Mega Bad combine and hoist Harley Cameron up for a double vertical delayed suplex, but before they can suplex, Cameron shifts her weight and manages to nail both of them with a DDT, which is very impressive. Harley Cameron runs right into the boot of Bane, though, and she stumbles backwards. Bane doesn't hesitate a moment and climbs to the top rope. Harley recovers quickly and denies Megan her flight with a fabulous kick to her face. Cameron's kicks are getting demolishing. Cameron calls on Willow and they set up the double team on Bane. Still on the ropes, Harley and Willow manage to successfully superplex the Megasis, and she comes crashing down to the mat. Penelope springs into action and she's up onto the top rope. With only a moment to lock on, Penelope takes flight and gets both wrestlers in a blockbuster, and now everyone is down and hurting on the mat. Yes! Now, this is when I would usually get very sassy at Las Vegas for being stingy buggers in their appreciation for amazing wrestling. But they made headline news chanting "fuck ice" in perfect unison, so I can't be mad at them now. But I was then. But anywho, as Las Vegas try to get me back on side with a very delayed "this is awesome" chant, it is Harley who ends up on her feet first for her team. It just happened to her involuntarily, as Megan Bain has her in her clutches. It won't be long though as Willow gets the tag in on Cameron and Harley takes Bane off of her feet with a lovely tilt-a-whirl DDT. Willow whips Bane into the ropes and then slams her into the mat with a beautiful spine buster. Willow really has one of the best spine busters going. Willow tags in Harley Cameron again. They're starting to snap into their quick tags, and the Babes of Wrath attempt another dabba do. The Babes of Wrath attempt another double team on Megan Bain. Penelope has recovered and she has seen enough, people. She takes Cameron by the hair and slams her face into the top turnbuckle. Willow gets distracted by Penelope's interference, and this allows Megabad to set her up for the toss cutter, which still needs a better name. I don't know what we're thinking. Super Mega Cutter? I mean, they'll do for now. It's better than the toss cutter. They nail Willow with the super mega cutter, and Willow is out. Megan Bang quickly assemble. No, Mega Bad quickly assemble. Megan Bang is already quite assembled. Thank you very much. Mega Bad quickly assemble. Bane directs forward to get into place as they want to get this done before the double team, before the double champ can recover again. Bane lifts up Harley Cameron onto his shoulders, and Harley is unable to do anything to get out of her grip. All she can do is watch as Penelope climbs to the top ropes, seals her fate with a bow down, and takes Harley Cameron out. Bane goes for the pin, and Ford keeps an eye out for Willow, but there is no stopping it. Mega Bad, they get the win, and they'll be battling the Babes of Wrath for reals at the Sydney Grand Slam in New South Wales, Aussie next week, and we have new tag team champions. I don't know why I had to sing that. You will all know when that happens because my screams of joy shall be heard around the globe. As the crowd boo the victors, Megabad celebrate their win and taunt the crowd. They will soon be bowing down to Megabad. And we say our goodbyes to this dynamite. Bye bye. That was full of fashion and brutality. Whew. So shall we see what was going on in Collision, shall we? The remarkable, casual yet chic Renee Paquette is here again, and she is elegant in pearl, paired with blue jeans, and she is in the middle of the ring to have a little chin wag with our Cosmic Killer, the world champion, to find out what the stipulation is for her upcoming Grand Slam match against Tekla. See, I told you that we didn't have to wait too long. Our world champion, the Cosmic Killer, Chris Statlander, is nailing it again with another fabulous outfit. This one more sparkled up the wazoo than anything has been before. Stat's dress is stunning. She's paired it with black shit-kicking boots, which I love, rippling muscles, and the world championship. Oh, and also a tan. This outfit rocks. As our world champion stands on the ropes in battle pose, she looks out at the Las Vegas crowd. Renee starts to ask her the questions when all of a sudden she just stops and gets the fuck out of the ring. A toxic spider, doing me the personal favor of wearing all black, has crept into the ring and is locked in spider mode. Chris turns around, alerted by Renee and the screams of the crowd, but she cannot escape the spear, and Tekla plows through Stat. The Sisters of Sin join Tekla in the ring, and they are too doing me the personal favor. And I'm not sure if I can take much more of this, to be perfectly honest. I am I am so honored. I knew I was put on this earth for something meaningful and powerful, and calling out all of the women's wrestlers who do me the personal favor of dressing in all black is more than I could have ever hoped for. While I rabbit on in my delusion, Tekla has undone her belt, and it's not because she felt uncomfortable. This belt's for whipping. Julia Hart in Sky Blue hold Chris Statlander face down on the mat while Tekla whips her brutally over and over again without mercy. Sky Blue gives Tekla a mic and she tells Chris, still whipping her, that she doesn't care what the stipulation is because the end will still be the same. Toxic. Tekla's music hits and the Triangle of Madness gets away with ambushing that world championess. I was very surprised. No one came out at all. But before they could actually leave ringside completely, Chris Statlander has a mic in hand and she tells Stickler? She tells Tekla the stipulation of their match. It's going to be a strap match, sickos. Did you know that this will only be the third strap match in AEW? The first being Honey Rose and QT Marshall. The second was Bryan Danielson versus Ricky Starks, no relation, making this, though, also the first ever women's strap match in AEW. And as far as I could find in my little searchies, this is only the third women's strap match in recent women's wrestling history of at least the past 40, 50 years. There's gotta be a Joshi one that I'm just missing somehow. But yeah, I was quite surprised by that. So these are the ones that I was able to find out that we have actually only had. So, and they're real recent too, which is weird because these records went all the way back to like at least the beginning of like the 70s that I was looking at. Natsupoi and Saori Ano? Yeah, Ano. Saori Ano had a strap match in Stardom. In 2023, Stardom Midsummer Champions King of Midsummer event. I think I even remember hearing about that one. And also in 2023, there was an Alexis Falcon and Livy Grace strap match for Pro Wrestling Chaos, which is in Bristol, England. So this is quite the momentous match. I'm like, I don't know why, but I just thought strap matches were a lot more common. Like, I honestly thought the Knockouts had a strap match in TNA, but I completely made that up. So, scooshing through the show, and we have a moment of pause because the patron saint herself of DCMD, Layla Gray. She is here, and to align the stars, planets, auras, and priorities, Miss Layla Gray is doing me the personal favor of dressing in all black. Oh, she is in a black velvet looking jumpsuit, which looks comfy as, and her mobility is looking damn good. She accompanies the menfolk, Scorpio Sky, and Mr. Daniels to the entranceway, but rightly doesn't risk further injury ringside and leaves them with her blessings. Until we meet again. Goodbye, Miss Layla Gray. Can't believe she came out in that jumpsuit. Our next battle will be between two former tag partners, Mina Shirakawa and Viva Van. It's always great seeing Viva Van, and it is about time that her and Lady Frost became all elite, I think. But that's just my little opinion, you know? Uh-huh. Viva Van is already in the ring as Mina Shirakawa hits the entrance ramp to perform her battle dance of power. Mina is in a white robe with feathers around the cuffs, but her battle gear is new and it is gorgeous. It has a purple shimmer with gold detailing, straps everywhere that straps are needed, and she looks incredible. Viva Van is also looking fantastic in her silver and black shimmery battle gear, which is very much also strapped very much up the wazoo and sparkled highly appropriately. They lock up and twist each other's arms into all sorts of painful directions, both countering one another until Viva has to use the ropes to help her out, and she flips out of Mina's grasp, following it up with a battle-boosting knee slide into a shimmy, and the crowd start to duel between themselves with a "Let's go, Mina, Viva Van" chants. It was awesome. Viva taunts Mina a little more, and Mina goes to make her pay with a kick to the face. Viva does a great job of avoiding it, but cannot avoid the sling blade, and Mina takes Viva off of her face. Mina sets Viva. Whoa. Mina sets Mina sets Viva Van up for the glamorous driver, but Viva puts a nope to that and manages to grab Mina in a choke. Viva spices it up with a bit more with some stiff knees to Mina's jaw and her chest. When Viva finally lets go, Mina crumbles to the floor. Not many can bring Mina to her knees this early into a match. The crowd is still dual chanting, and Viva Van soaks up that sweet, sweet power boost. But in doing so, she left Mina on the mat to recover. And Viva Van gets rocked by Mina's very stiff forearm and elbow shots. Viva Van does end up beating Mina back down to the mat, though, and goes back to basking. Just for a mo. Viva Van comes back to Mina, who is right where she left her, and continues the pain. Viva wraps Mina's own arm around her throat, well, her own arms around her throat, and then digs her knee into Mina's spine in a nasty straitjacket surfboard stretch. To my utter surprise, Mina digs in real deep and bridges out of the submission. I knew she had a chance, but I would never have thought that she could have gotten out of it like that. Mina Shirakawa and Viva Van ramp up the fight and almost end up on the outside, but Mina manages to stay on the apron, and as she gets into the ring, Viva is sprinting back from maximum momentum off the ropes, and Van collides face first with Mina's fist. Mina keeps on Van and kicks the stuffing out of her. Viva Van counters Mina's whip to the ropes, but Mina counters Viva's kick, and Viva Van's knee gets guillotined by the middle rope. Van falls back on the mat from the pain, and Mina sets herself up for the springboard tornillo. Mina goes for the pin, but Viva is still alive, and she kicks out at two. Shirakawa questions the ref, but he sticks to his guns, and Mina decides that enough is enough. With Viva Van still on the mat, Shirakawa takes her leg and slams Van's knee into the canvas repeatedly until Mina felt like it was softened up enough for the figure four. But it was not to be. Mina made it very clear what was coming, so Viva Van booted her in the face until Mina let her go. Both wrestlers are filled with the fury of battle, and Viva Van manages to take Mina out with a few good kicks, and then cracks Mina on the skull with an amazing kick to the top of her head. Viva Van goes for the pin, but the tough as fuck Joshi kicks out at two. This frustrates Viva, and she takes a moment. By the time Viva gets to her feet, the pain from the damage Mina did to her knee is really starting to bother her. Viva's not out though, and she battles Mina up the ropes until Van gets a couple of boots to the face. Mina flies off the top rope, takes Viva out with a sling blade, and she's down. Mina waits until Viva gets in range and then cracks her in the jaw with another rolling elbow strike and then another to the back. And this brings Viva down to her very painful knees. Mina isn't done and gives Viva Van's head another blow from a very lovely roundhouse. And then Mina wills Viva's soul to raise her body to her feet, and she goes for the spinning back fist again. To Mina's surprise, though, Viva ducks that rolling elbow and cracks Mina in the chest with a forearm, and that stops all of that. Viva Van unleashes a battle cry from the sexy dips and runs off the ropes right into a spinning back fist. God damn it. Didn't work again. Mina takes her down to the mat with a Cazadora roll up, and it's figure four time. Mina screams out in pain, but she still holds out for as long as she can. But eventually she must tap, and Mina Shirakawa gets the win. Just hands. Mina celebrates her win and goes to leave, but before she can, Mina, no. Marina Shafir's music hits and Mina stops in her tracks. She stares daggers down at Marina Shafir as she hops over the barricade. There is a lot of unfinished business between these two. Marina also doesn't stop staring down daggers at Mina Shirakawa either. But it's intergender match time! And the Death Riders don't want to waste any time about it. Mina doesn't move. No, and Marina locks eyes with her the entire time, only breaking eye contact to desock herself. Mina's had enough eventually of Shafir's bullshit, and she turns away and continues her walk down to the back. Marina gives everyone the finger, and the wet dog threatens us all with clippers, which I think is very rude. The fabulous Akari Aura, looking divine in all black, is literally the gift that keeps on giving. I'm telling you, I didn't set up this episode this way. It's just happening. I'm just saying, I'm just reporting. I'm not reporting anything. I'm making shit up, but I'm not making shit up. Akari also has some very impressive guns. She introduces the lucky team that will be facing Marina and fucking Yuta in battle. They will be facing the fabulous Zeta Steel and Dante Martin from Skyflight. So not an easy fight as they may be thinking. Zeta Steel has such an amazing vibe, right? Don't we love her? I really, really enjoy her. She gives me so much joy. Skyflight, they're in red and black, and they already have a very cool entrance. We get graced again by the fabulous presence of Mr. Fallen Angel and Scorpio Sky, who have come out to give their teammates some extra little battle boost again. It's so giving, so giving. But it's only Christopher Daniels who will be staying ringside. Skyflight get into the ring and complete their battle entrance. The Death Riders give them space and do not interfere. Well, they hold off for as long as they can. Marina instantly jumps Dante because she is an absolute badass. Zeta Steel is also a baddie, and she glomps onto Shafir's back and locks in a choke. FY, though, grabs a handful of Zeta's hair and pulls her off of Marina Shafir. Dante does not stand for any of this and throws Fido out of the ring. Violence has definitely erupted. As the menfolk continue their fight, Zeta is stepping up to Marina, who is still shaking off that surprise choke. Zeta gets Mina on the rope. Mina? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Zeta gets Marina on the ropes, pounding down forearms until Marina finally gets back to full health, and now the dance of violence shall begin. Steel is doing a good job at evading Shafir until she gets her arm yoinked and Marina twists her body around. She takes Zeta down to the mat by one arm. Steel is back on her feet quickly and tries to turn it around when Marina whips her into the ropes, but Marina is quicker and deadlier, and she cracks Steel in the face with a stiff roundhouse kick, and Zeta hits the back of her head on the mat hard. Zeta is now in big trouble now. Marina takes one of her legs in hand and twists Steel's body around into a very tight pretzel. Zeta's legs are in like a triangle, but Marina makes it worse by sitting down on her, causing Zeta's legs to squish in painful angles. To make matters worse for Zeta, Marina has perfect access to her cheeks, and Marina slaps the cake, taunting Zeta to tap out. Steel is not giving up. frees a leg from Marina's grasp and kicks Shafir off of her. Zeta is not a slouch on the mat either, and she quickly locks in a sleeper hold on Marina, even locking her legs around the waist of Shafir. But the Terminator Shafir still manages to get to her feet, and with Zeta still on her, mind you, despite the choke. Marina grabs the limbs of Zeta and tries to remove her, but Zeta shifts her weight and takes Marina down with a crucifix pin, for the first pin, I should say, of the match. Marina powers out of the pin and both wrestlers face each other again. Zeta aims a kick right at Shafir's head. Unfortunately for Steel, though, Marina blocks her kick, yanks her by the leg, and engages in super strength mode by slamming Zeta Steel into the mat with a leg lift powerbomb. I would also like to point out that the Human Torture Machine is also doing me the personal favor of dressing in all black this evening. She admires her work for a moment and then deals with Dante Martin by kicking him in the stomach, and he falls down to the floor. Ref Aubrey warns Marina about her behavior, and Marina does her best "I am completely innocent" act until she gives up on all of that and then just starts talking shit with the ref. Marina is the queen at the whole, "I'm done, I promise you, I hear you." And then she instantly tries to run at Dante again with menace. The ref has to physically stop her twice and that brings out the tough voice from Aubrey, as she is now mad. Marina backs into her corner while still arguing with the ref, and fucking Yuta tags him. The ref is so hot at Marina that she doesn't even pay attention to Fluff Boy entering the ring, which fucking Yuta finds rather amusing. Marina really knows how to push people's buttons and gets under their skin. It's quite the talent. The hair with the man underneath snaps and grabs Zeta Steel, looking like he wants to lawn dart her, but Steel engages very successful kicky feet, and she rolls out of the ring. The men folk battle superbly. Dante has the unfortunate pleasure of being thrown to the outside, right in front of Marina, and the Death Raiders pull off a perfect move of dastardly deeds. Marina judo throws Dante to the floor and then throws him back into the ring. Zeta Steel has unfortunately fallen into the trap of complaining to the ref and is getting the ref even more distracted. Marina is 100% dialed in during this match. When she sees Zeta powering up to be ready for the tag from Dante, Marina runs into that ring, swerves behind the ref, and knocks Zeta off the apron with a sliding elbow. Aubrey sends her out of the ring again, and Marina bounces back to her corner. Marina has been her dastardly best during this entire battle, and when Skyflight really need to make the tag, Marina does a Sky Blue special and zips around the ring to pull Zeta off the apron by her leg. Marina doesn't stick around and scampers her cheeky butt back to her corner. The ref is having absolutely no luck in controlling the problem at all. Dante finally manages to tag in Zeta, and these two collide in the middle of the ring with a Thez press. Steel rains down hands onto Marina until Shafir rolls her off. Steel doesn't stop though, and she glomps back on Shafina again and continues to beat down on Marina. Marina shakes her off once more, and the two wrestlers are back on their feet. They engage in battle again, and it is Zeta who twists Marina around and slams her into the mat with a sweep under into a neck breaker. Zeta Steels unleashes a battle cry and goes to climb the ropes, but fucking Yuta scampers around and gets up onto the apron to stop her. But Zeta slaps the shite out of FY, and Dante does the rest. Oh! Zeta grabs Marina by the head and gives her a guillotine on the top rope. As Shafir stumbles back and tries to recover, Zeta continues to climb the top rope. Zeta gives Marina the double finger before she flies for the crossbody, and that does not go the way that Zeta wanted it to. You see, she didn't know this, but giving Marina the finger is just like handing her a power boost. So two doubles just means that Marina gets double power boost, and she catches Zeta in her arms. Absorbing that crossbody and using its momentum, Marina rolls through, still holding on to Steel, and gets to her feet. The crowd cannot help themselves but cheer for the awesomeness that is our problem. With Zeta still in her arms, Marina adjusts her footing and then swings her around into a devastating slam into the mat and instantly transitions into the mother's milk. Marina smothers Zeta, who ends up passing out instead of tapping to Shafir. She will not give her that satisfaction. The entire time, she's choking her out. Marina is talking shit directly to the camera. And I have to say, it's the fucking best. She is so unhinged and deadly. It's a beautiful combination. Marina finally lets go, and Marina celebrates the win by climbing on the ropes and giving the crowd a good old double finger. We're not done here, though. Fluffums himself grabs the clippers, and it looks like he is about to give Dante Martin a free buzz cut. But then thinks of a more dastardly idea. He drops Martin and grabs Zeta. The crowd are doing their best to protest as loud as they can to try and bring someone out from the back to help steal before she gets the worst haircut of her entire life. And thankfully, it is not long until the strings of the icon timeless Toni Storm hits, and she, well, yeah, she walks, but very strongly, out to the ring with a very large pair of scissors in her hands. As soon as the Death Riders see that the Timeless One is armed, they get the fuck out of there. Marina almost doesn't make it though, as before she can get out of arm's reach, Toni reaches through the ropes and grabs Marina's ponytail. Toni is threatening to cut it all off right now. She hangs her by her hair, but fucking Yuta comes to Shafir's rescue. Toni Storm threatens all three of the Death Riders as Moxley was on commentary, and Moxley doesn't want any part of this at all. He does not want Toni pointing those scissors at him. Marina was this close to losing her hair, and she lets out a sigh of relief as they leave. A very uncommon moment of humanity from the problem. She may actually be legitimately worried for the first time ever. Now, I would have honestly thought that Marina would have like cut off her own hair and sent it into battle herself before she gave a fuck about losing it to anyone else. But it does look like she may have some big feelings about this stipulation. Who will be bald? Everyone is saying it's fucking Yuta, which would be the obvious choice, of course. But I want the unconventional outcome, whoever that may be. Tekla gets to meet friend of the pod, Brittany Brooks, in the ring next. And unfortunately for Brittany Brooks, she gets to meet Tekla. Tekla absolutely demolishes Brittany. Bless her heart. Tekla is in her very awesome silver gear, and she came out wearing her new spider jacket with the leggies. The only attacks Brooks was able to get out were verbal ones before she felt the spear rip her in two, and Tekla spins her for the three. Oh, Brittany! Keep at it, love. You got it. The Sisters of Sin join Tekla in the ring and they hold Brittany down. Tekla has got a taste for this strap business and they start whipping the shit out of Brooke's back. Oh, honey, it just got so much worse. Oh dear. No one, not a one comes out to help poor Brittany Brooks. And the Triangle of Madness just stand over her victorious. Justice for Brittany Brooks. Before we leave, we must also mention that a Wild Isle of Dawn showed up during that fun little on top of the fucking lot brawl match. She came out to help her boys, the grizzled young veterans. Isla made a big difference to the match until she was yoinked and carried away by Myron Reed. Lots of fun was had though. And I'm just loving that this is just another, just instant, completely makes sense intergender shimmy into this match. I love it. I'm down. Are you down? So, what are your thoughts on this week's discussion and the vibe in the studio today? You never know what you're going to get. Well, actually, you do. It's going to be unhinged. If you so wish, you can leave your thoughts as comments in the appropriate sections of wherever you are. And if you would be so kind as to like and subscribe whilst you're there, we would be very grateful. You can find me lurking around on threads. You can find me on Blue Sky, but don't bother. Go to Threads, Bix_Best and follow the show on TikTok at Don't Call Me a Diva Show. Obviously, subscribe to this wherever you are, all of that. Thank you, as always, to the wonderful Shane. We got double messages, buddy. She's gonna be on the show soon. My excellent producer, editor, promoter extraordinaire. Go check out Ethos Media Network if you like to check out some more diverse content. It's fucking good. Join us at sickosclub.com and at Sickos Club on Threads. You have what now? Never met a more inclusive, smart, kind, and talented bunch of city sausages who also happen to really enjoy wrestling. This was Don't Call Me Diva. Women's Wrestling Rules! Don't be a dick.